This is a TalkStation original podcast.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment. It is Ryan and Lynn joining you this week. Lynn, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Ryan. Thank you.
I'm glad. So we were talking about this before, but in taking care of our seniors, one of the really important positions is the CNA, the Certified Nursing Assistant. And so today we're lucky enough to have Kathy Coyle, who is one of the instructors for the CNA class at Carteret Community College. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Can you tell us just in general, what is a CNA and what are some of the things that they're able to do?
So a CNA is a Certified Nursing Assistant that is certified by the state of North Carolina. They are the important first rung of health care. They will be providing all the care to the patient, their bed baths, activities of daily living, which are getting dressed, walking, bathing, eating, all of those things that we take for granted that we can do. And as we age, we need a little bit of assistance. So years ago, they would just call somebody that did that an aide. And about 20 years ago, they decided that every aide needs to be able to do the exact same thing. So they started a program that they have 45 skills that they learn. Everybody learns them the same way in the state. And then after the class, which is usually about 3 months long, they come and they will take a written exam, and then they will sit in front of an evaluator from the state, and they will do 5 skills in 30 minutes. It is very strict. They have to get every step, and if they are able to pass that, then they are certified by the state for 2 years, and they renew that every 2 years. So this is the only part in healthcare that you actually have to have an evaluation in person like that. You don't have to do that to become a CNA2 or an LPN or an RN. A doctor has to sit in front of his board before they become a doctor. But this is a very important step coming into the medical field. I'm always so proud of these students at graduation because they have been very dedicated, and it's nerve-wracking for them to sit there and take the written state exam, and then to have to stand up with the only other person in the room is their other student in the bed, and they are put on the hot seat to do these skills. So I'm very proud of all of them that go through the program and successfully pass the program and then go on to pass the state exams. Carteret Community College has one of the most respected CNA programs in the state. They took when they started making the program of all the list of skills that needed to be done, they actually came and used Carteret Community College's protocol. So it's a very highly respected program that students travel, hours to get to. I had a student 2 semesters ago that traveled from Oriental and went over from the ferry every single day to get to class by 8 and stay there till 4. So these students are very impressive and have worked really hard to get what they need to do to be in that first rung of the healthcare system.
Wow, I didn't know that history about the program at Carteret Community College. So we'll talk more about what CNAs do once they become certified. But if somebody is interested in learning about or becoming a CNA through the program at the community college, what steps would they need to take in order to do that?
Interesting enough, I have been teaching for almost 20 years. And when I went to nursing school 30 plus years ago, they didn't have a CNA program. You just went into nursing or LPN or wherever you wanted to be in the healthcare system. So when I started teaching this program, I thought to myself, why do we really need this? I mean, they're going to get all this in nursing school. Why do you really need this? And I have completely changed my view on that. We have students that come in and they're like, I think I'd like to be a nurse. My mom was a nurse, or somebody told me they thought I'd be a good nurse. But what when you go into the CNA program for 2 or 3 months, you can go in there, feel the waters, and if you don't like it, you can say, not quite for me, and then quite the opposite. If I love it, this is a natural thing for me, this is what I've been looking for all my life, I'm ready to apply to that nursing program. Or if I've had many students that say, I thought I wanted to go into nursing, but I love the patient care, and I know becoming an RN or an LPN will take me away from the bedside a little bit, so I am perfectly content in staying and being a CNA 1 or 2. So it really opens the door for you. Or I've had students that have said to me, I really like being with the patients, but I'm not loving, the actual patient care. So you can say, well, maybe radiology would be something that would be appealing to you, or something in the healthcare where you're working with patients, but you're not exactly doing maybe the more intimate day-to-day things with the patients that you're not as comfortable with. So it really opens the door and allows someone to say, I've wanted to do this all my life, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. I think I'm going to go another avenue, without going through the whole process of being in a nursing program and then quitting after you get involved and you see this is not for me. So, and in addition to that, you become a CNA 1 or a CNA 2. A CNA 2 is just another level where you do more technical, like suctioning, different, more hands-on care that a lot of CNA 2s are working in the hospital. But it also allows you to work while you're going through the nursing program, so that you have that practical experience of, oh, that's what they meant when we were in lab, or, now that makes sense, because you're actually able to work in the field at the same time that you're going through the program. And the finest nurses that I know are ones that became CNA 1s or CNA 2s, worked while they were going or before they went to nursing school, and it just, everything came full circle and made sense, and they are amazing nurses.
To get into the program, would they reach out to the admissions department, or how do they actually enroll in? Right,
you would contact the CNA director, whose name is Rhonda Piner. You can call the Carteret Community College phone number, and they will directly connect you to her. She is an amazing resource. She will meet with you. She will talk about what you need to get into the program and help you walk through those steps to get into the program. So if you need a math class, or you need your background check, all that kind of stuff, she will walk you through that and make it as easy as possible for you to get into the program. In addition to that, Carteret Community College has done an amazing job of trying to accommodate everybody. Years ago when I started, there was one program. It was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now we have a Monday, Wednesday class. We have a Tuesday, Thursday class. We have a Friday, Saturday class. We have an evening class. There's a hospital class that's a more expedited class if you want to work at the hospital as a CNA. And the reason for this is A, we have a lot of interest and we needed more classes, but B, we wanted to accommodate everybody. So those folks that worked during the day, they couldn't take off during the day, they can come to an evening class, or somebody that can work from Monday to Thursday, but then they can have class on Friday and Saturday. So they're really trying to accommodate everybody's schedule. And the reason for that too is that the attendance is really critical in this program. That is a big, big thing in this program. There are no days you're allowed to miss in lab. And once you get into the program, you'll understand why. We're not trying to be not serving to everybody, but if you miss 6 hours of being taught different skills, that's a lot to miss. So we don't allow any absentees at all in the lab section. In the clinical, I believe we're allowed to miss 1.
Oh, wow.
So it's really important that we we let the students try to figure out daycare and jobs and having backups if something happens, because that attendance in this program is really important.
I love that there are so many more options now because there's so much need for CNAs. I mean, not only here but across the country, that to be able to accommodate more people is spectacular. What's there in the program? You mentioned that it can be 2 to 3 months, and I heard you mention labs or clinicals. I'm assuming there's textbook learning too. What does the actual class look like over the 2 to 3 months?
So all the book work now, years ago, it was taught by us, the instructors. Now the book work is all done remote at home on the computer. Then you come into class and you practice the labs and you're tested in the classroom. So the instructors will be teaching through the lab work, but all the modules that you're required to do is done at your own time in your home. So and the reason that we did that is that cut out. It used to be classroom, lab, and clinic time, and now because we know that students are working and raising families, we're trying again to get those that are interested able to take this program. So we did the remote with the classroom, with the teaching part of it, the classroom part of it, and they do their modules, and we have a way to check that they're in there doing that and tested on that to make sure that they're complying with those.
It's I went through some of the class to get my nursing home administrator's license, and it's changed a lot. I guess all education has changed a lot at this point. As I still remember reading through a book and all that good stuff and jazz. And so let's go ahead. We'll take a break, but after the break, I want to learn more about what we can do, or what, once you become a CNA, what you're able to do with that license.
Hi, this is Lynn Schultz at Carteret Landing. We invite you to visit our beautiful assisted living community. Carteret Landing pairs exceptional, compassionate senior care with the stylings of a resort. Our beautifully appointed suites, common areas, and bright and engaging memory care neighborhood can provide you or your loved one with the quality living they deserve. Carteret Landing is in Morehead City, right behind the Friendly Market. Come by and see us today, or call for your personal tour at 252-773-0980.
This is Angela Pridgeon, Regional Long-Term Care Ombudsman with the Eastern Carolina Council Area Agency on Aging, and you're listening to The Senior Moment.
Welcome back from our break. Again, we have Lynn Schultz here today, as well as Kathy Coyle. And again, Kathy is one of the instructors in the CNA program at Carteret Community College. And I just want to say thank you for coming to this and teaching people about what a CNA is, and the program at Carteret Community College. One of the things that we were expanding upon during the break was clinicals, and what does it mean for the clinicals or labs? And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So just to kind of roadmap this for you, you come into the classroom, you've prepared the modules, you take the testing, and then you are instructed by our instructors the skills that you will be certified by the state and tested by the state. When we're done that program and you've been checked off on all those labs, you are taught the lab and then you repeat it back to the instructor, and if you get a satisfactory, then you move on to the next skill. When we're done with all of those skills, the fun really begins. That's when we leave the classroom and we go out into the community, and we get to do clinic at different facilities. As a CNA 1, you do clinic in all long-term care facilities. As a CNA 2, you do clinics in the hospital. So for us, we go to nursing homes, we go to assisted livings, we go to memory care, and we practice those skills that we learned in the classroom. And then you are checked off on those skills by the instructor once she's watched you do that in the real setting. And at all times, you only have there is a maximum of 10 students per one instructor, so you'll never have more than 10 students with one instructor. And you will go with her to different rooms, and you will go with other CNAs from the facilities and practice those skills. And at no time, this is a time when you're a student, so you're allowed to, feel uncomfortable and unsure about that, and that's what the instructors and the other CNAs at the facilities are there for. And it's wonderful, too, because if you're interested in rehab, if you're interested in wound care, some specific type of field, we can have you get as much experience in that in those facilities as possible, so that you can kind of see, is this something I like? Or is this something, I thought I liked and it didn't really jive with me?
I would imagine that being in a classroom and even going through the testing and the one-on-one, but to actually get into a community and hands-on, I would imagine is still a much different experience.
What a great comment. So many people come in and maybe the classroom, the test anxiety, have a difficult time with that. And then when you see them in the clinical setting, they soar because this is their comfort level. This is where they've wanted to be. So yeah, it is. It's not necessarily if you're all A's and whatever, that you're going to be a great nurse or a great CNA. You have to have a combination of the two, that clear-headed thinking, that ability to be compassionate, to be patient in situations when you have 4 or 5 other patients that you need a shower, but this patient's taking the slower time. That's not something an instructor can teach. That's someone's essence, whether they have that ability to dial back a little bit and let this patient do as much as they possibly can, even though it means that it might throw your schedule off a little bit. So it's a great way to learn how to kind of mold yourself as a healthcare provider, because it's not the same in the classroom where you have everything perfect, all the supplies are there, the students are doing exactly what you tell them to do, and they're able to get up and walk. And when you walk into a patient's room that they're having a hard day, a difficult day, it's a completely different story.
I would imagine. And then you add the elderly kind of sometimes have their own tune of what they want to do and when. So just navigating that, I would think, is a huge part.
Which is something, if you're kind of loving this profession, you kind of love to see those folks that kind of want to still be in control of how they've done it their whole life. So if you can help me kind of do it my way, then this is going to be a great story. But if you're going to force me to do something that is going to make me feel uncomfortable and not, in control of my capabilities, that's a different story. And again, that's something that you learn in the clinic that you cannot learn in the classroom.
Well, I know our team is always excited when the students are coming to help in the community and they get to help and showing them a little bit and helping to teach. And then, it's always also, of course, they love extra hands. So it's wonderful that it gives them more time to be able to spend with the residents and conversing. So now let me ask, you've gotten, so the student has basically just dedicated the 3 months. They haven't had any other absences, and they go through the graduation process. What happens then? Because it's not, you mentioned the clinicals are in the long-term care communities, so nursing homes and assisted livings and memory care, but that's not their only options career-wise. What do you see as different areas, and when the students are graduating, where do you see them starting their careers?
Well, it's limitless, the options that are available to them. They can certainly still do long-term care, memory care, assisted living, doctor's offices. They can go on to work in the hospital. They will never not be able to get a job as a CNA 1 or 2. We are in need of CNAs, and again, they are such an integral part of the team at any facility. So you're held to a higher standard. This isn't a job that you can like stay up all night and be tired the next morning and then just let that paperwork sit there till the next day. You need to be on your game every single day. So it is an exciting job, because every day is different. It's not the same, and you're going to be doing something a little bit different than you did yesterday. So the opportunities are endless. Of course, going on to a nursing program, becoming a nurse practitioner, a physician's assistant, all of these things are starting at that CNA level. But there's also things that, working in the private duty, in the home with somebody, working in the hospital as a sitter with somebody that wants somebody, a CNA or somebody that knows something about medical in the hospital room, even though they have a whole staff around them. They just want that security for a patient. So there's just so many opportunities. And even if you didn't want to be in patient care, working in pharmaceutical sales and medical sales, they love to have somebody that's had a little bit of medical experience so that they can talk the language and they know what it's like to work with patients. So it really does open the door for so many people in so many different ways.
I love that it's such a introductory to healthcare, and I love that you can utilize it to progress further in other areas of healthcare, but you can also make a career of being a CNA. You don't have to become a nurse. That you truly can get this certification, get this license, and this is what you can do forever. Right. And there are so many different, like you mentioned, there are so many different fields that you can go into with it, from home care to working in a community, to working in a doctor's office. There's just such a variety of things you can do once you become a CNA. It's wonderful.
When we moved down here from up north 30 years ago, I was like, oh gosh, I wonder if I will get a job. Within one phone call, I had a job. And that is the way it is for CNAs and nurses across the country. It's not going to be one of those things where even during the pandemic, it was so impressive to see the students still wanting to come in and work in medicine when it was so tenuous out there, whether you were going to get sick or not. So you always have a job, no matter where you go. And as Lynn and I talked about, this is a high military community, and it's very important that with this program, with North Carolina's program, you have reciprocity, that once you pass this program, you can get a job anywhere in the country. You don't have to retake the program. You just have to keep your certification up. So,
one thing that I can say just from kind of summing up how rewarding it is for me just being in marketing and admissions, for the CNAs in our building that are hands-on with these residents, the relationships they build with our residents is so rewarding. It's just, being a CNA, it's just so rewarding.
Yeah, I agree. And even with the students, bringing them to Carteret Landing and the different facilities, they get attached, and they've even gone back and revisited, they're one of their first patients that they ever had. It's something that you don't ever forget.
Right, so, exactly.
It's a great, wonderful field. If you ever have any questions, contact Rhonda Piner at Carteret Community College. She's a great resource and can help navigate the system for you. But it's a terrific field. It's a great program, and lots of great facilities that we go to in the community.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Yes,
I greatly appreciate
so
it.
Much.
My pleasure.
And again, anybody listening, reach out to Rhonda if you have questions. And this is a statewide program, so she could put you in contact with anybody around the state that could get you into a program in your area. So again, Kathy, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.